So I grew up in Vallejo, California. A little bit tough of an area. If you know anyone that's ever lived there or grew up in the Bay Area in California, you'll know that it's a rough area. You're gonna either get tough or hide out your whole life. And I got to a point in my life where I couldn't hide out anymore. I was living with 5 of my buddies. You know, we were drinking, smoking weed all the time, running around, causing trouble, getting in trouble with the police, all these kind of childish activities. So anyway, one day I was laying on the couch. I'd been drinking all day. And my roommate brought his cousin. I can't remember his name. His name was Albert. He brought Albert over. And I was passed out on the couch and they were making all kinds of noise, and he came inside and he had a 40 ounce in his hand, and he takes it to my refrigerator. Well, I woke up while he was taking it to the refrigerator. I said, man, can you keep it quiet? I'm trying to sleep over here. I'm trying to sleep. Keep it down. So he looks over at me. He says, I'll do what the fuck I want. White boy, this is my cousin's house. We were all roommates, so it wasn't technically his cousin's house alone, and we all had to show respect for each other. So I told him, I said, man, don't put that beer in my refrigerator and get the fuck out of here. He kept talking shit, so I set up and I said, man, if I put these boots on before you get out of here, I'm gonna fuck your shit up. And I'm not a tough guy, but I will stand up for myself. So he goes, do what the fuck you want. Walks back outside. Puts the beer in my refrigerator, walks back outside. So I follow him outside. I got my boots on, I follow him outside. He's standing there and he's ready. He said, man, you trying to get an Arkansas ass whooping? At that point, I had a 3.5 pound weight in my hand. I threw the weight at him. I'm lucky I didn't hit him. I probably would have killed him. It was a little steel weight. I threw it like a disc and barely missed him. Then at that point, I rushed him, started boxing, threw him down, and I kicked him in the side of the face with my steel-toe boots. Knocked him out. I started to stomp him out, and then his cousin and the rest of the guys there, they stopped me from doing more damage. So later, he leaves, he wakes up and leaves. And then about 3 or 4 years down the road, I'm at a revival. My whole life changed at this point. I'm a Christian. I'm doing the right thing. I stopped doing all drugs. I stopped drinking. You know, my life was straight, and I was trying to stay on the straight and narrow. And I was at this Christian revival. And lo and behold, I look over, and who's right there? Albert. I see him. I'm like, should I avoid him? Should I go up and say something to him? Well, I didn't need to do it. He had already seen me. So he comes up to me, and I'm worried there's going to be a fight at the Christian revival, because I don't know if he's a changed man too. He comes up and he looks at me, he goes, man, I know you. I said, yeah, you do. So what you want to do, man? He says, man, it ain't even like that, man. I just want to tell you, man, I'm sorry for causing that incident with me and you. And right then, the guilt, because at that point I never felt guilty for hurting him before that. At that point, the guilt of hurting him all came down on me at once. And I couldn't even look him in the eye because I was so ashamed of my previous actions, so ashamed of hurting that man. And yeah, I might have been justified in some ways in doing that, but I was caught up in my pride, man. I was caught up in being something that the enemy wanted me to be. The enemy wanted me to be a thug, a punk, you know, a street rat, a shithead. That's what I was in those days before that. I was a shithead. And I had no insight into spiritual things. I had no insight into what God would have in store for me if I would just straighten my life out a little bit. Where I would go, the success I would have, the family, all those things, they didn't matter to me when I was that punk kid. It wasn't just because I was a kid, though. It was because I was evil in my heart. I didn't intend on being evil. I became that way. Evil kind of conforms others into its use and purpose. It will turn something that is not innately evil if you spend too much time around evil. And there are consequences for your past actions. There are long-term consequences for things that don't even seem important at the moment. When I was fighting with that guy, I didn't think about anything in the future. If I would have hit him with that weight, I might be in prison right now. But that's the way I was back then. I'm a different person now. I still have my shortcomings, but I have a lot more vision long term. I have a lot more understanding towards right and wrong, and I care about those things now. You know, when you become a dad, when you become grown up, so to speak, everything changes in life. I'm spiritually grown up, but I still have some good stories and maybe some good helpful insight to people, so when they move into their future lives, they don't make too many mistakes in their past to ruin their future lives. So before you go out and do something stupid, just think about what might happen in the future, where you might be, where you could be, and put your focus on that. Make your decisions based on where you might be tomorrow. Don't make them on impulse. Don't make them on prideful, thoughtless gain. You know, if you're out there slinging dope, if you're out there, you know, getting high, popping Xannies, taking perks, all that kind of shit, man, that shit is for the birds. You're gonna crash and burn, man. And that's where evil's got us now. I mean, it's got us so wrapped up in all these physical things. All we want to do is feel good. All we want to do is live for the thrill. The thrill is not everything. The thrill is gone. It really is. That song was right. The thrill is gone. Anyway, I just wanted to spend a little time, talk to everybody about, maybe tell a little story. And I have many more stories, and there's a lot more that I can say. There's a lot more things that I can put out there, you know, that might be able to help someone in my position. I'm not that comfortable yet talking in front of the camera like this, and I'm going to get better at this. So you're interested in this story, tell a friend. Maybe they can listen to it. But I promise I'm gonna be 100% real on this channel. I'm gonna tell the truth. You know, and you guys can count on that. We're gonna talk about all kinds of things. We're gonna talk about aliens, ghosts. We're gonna talk about jiu-jitsu. We're gonna talk about hood living. We're gonna talk about everything. We're gonna talk about work. We're gonna talk about families. We're gonna talk about everything. So if you wanna come and get some good, you know, some good stories, and you want to come and get and just be part of the conversation, then join me. You know, if you like this video, then go ahead and click the like button. If you want to subscribe to my channel or tell somebody else about it, that'd be great too. Thanks.